Hello, this is Aaron from the Geeky Cat, and I want you to open up your brain holes because I'm about to make you a little bit smarter. Number 1. There are several dummy phone numbers that exist in all types of media around the world. They are designed for use where a realistic but undialable number is required in a drama, novel, or similar work. For example, the 01632 area code is usually followed by a random 6-digit number, mimicking the style of phone numbers found in much of Britain. In fact, the UK has many phone numbers for large cities set aside for works of fiction. Some of the cities that have fake numbers in the UK are Nottingham, London, Leeds, Bristol, Cardiff, Glasgow, Liverpool, Manchester, and many others. This doesn't stop at just fake landlines for the UK though. They have even set aside fake numbers for fictional mobile phones and premium rate numbers as well. The US has their own fake numbers, but they aren't as thorough or elaborate by only being prefixed with 555. America's 555 numbers have been featured in The Simpsons and the Ghostbusters. The reason behind this is that phone numbers have been included in all types of media, such as Tommy Two Tones, 8675309, and even an accidental inclusion of a phone number to a real pizzeria called Freddy's that was bombarded with calls because of the excitement around the Five Nights at Freddy's games. When fans find these phone numbers, there is always a desire to call these numbers. Even if an unused number is put into a piece of fiction or a song, there is always a chance of it being used in the future and causing an issue for someone down the line. Number 2. If I ask you to think of two creatures that live in extreme colds, most likely you'll think of polar bears and penguins. But outside of a zoo, they have never met. When we were growing up, we all read stories where there are both penguins and polar bears, but they could not live any farther apart. Polar bears can be found in the Arctic in the northern hemisphere, while penguins live around the Antarctic in the southern hemisphere. A polar bear is more likely to come across a grizzly bear, and has. Polar bears and grizzlies have been found to have success when breeding. These hybrid bears are known as pizzlies or growlers. While these do sound like Pokemon, they are real creatures. There have even been hunters who have killed these hybrids in the wild. But the penguin life is harsh as well. Literally, almost everything is trying to kill them. On land, lizards, birds, snakes, and ferrets use penguins as prey. So what is their safe option? To jump into the water, you say? Wait 1 minute, because in the water, they have to worry about killer whales, leopard seals, and sharks. Compared to the hunters for polar bears in the northern hemisphere, penguins just can't seem to catch a break. Number 3. Did you know there is a small microstate in Central Europe called Liechtenstein? Liechtenstein is so small that it has an area of only 62 square miles or 160 square kilometers, with an approximate population of 37,000 people. Liechtenstein also has one of the lowest unemployment rates in the world at only 1.5%. The population of Liechtenstein also enjoys one of the world's highest standards of living. Liechtenstein may only have one hospital, but with the furthest parts of the microstate measuring only 15 miles or 24 kilometers apart, this is not too big of an issue. The country has one of the lowest crime rates, with a national police force totaling only 125 employees. If this all sounds wonderful and you're planning on moving there, hold on just 1 second. Liechtenstein's citizenship is very restricted and hard to gain. One way to gain citizenship is to live in Liechtenstein at least 3 years with a visa. After that, the entire country votes on whether that person should become a citizen based on whether he or she has a job and whether the skills he or she can provide are needed. Another way to gain citizenship is to be married to a citizen of Liechtenstein for 3 years. The only way for non-citizens to live in Liechtenstein, if they are not married to a citizen, is to have a job in the country. Number 4. If I ask you to think about Gordon Ramsay, most people would think of the foul-mouthed celebrity chef and television personality. But his life could have gone in an entirely different route. At an early age, Gordon wanted to play football, or what is known in the U.S. as soccer. In 1984, Gordon had a trial with the Rangers Football Club in Glasgow, England. This was a team that he supported as a young boy. What person wouldn't imagine playing for a team that they loved as a child? During training, he had injured his knee by smashing the cartilage. Despite the injury, he continued to play and train, causing him to tear a small ligament in his knee. Gordon was able to play with one of Scotland's football legends, Alistair McCoist, who said Gordon is a competitive so-and-so and wants to do the best that he can. Ramsay has even stated that if not for the injuries he suffered playing football, he would not be the chef he is today, since it forced him to pay more attention to his culinary education. He even described his decision to enter catering college was a complete accident. Number 5. Most people know that groupings of animals have different names, such as crows being a murder and geese being a gaggle. But did you know that if you have a grouping of pigs, it would be called a drift or a drove? But a group of hogs would be called a team or a parcel. By the way, the difference between hogs and pigs are that pigs refer to the lighter, younger swine, weighing less than 120 pounds or 50 kilograms. Hogs, on the other hand, are the older swine that weigh more than 120 pounds. When someone is being sarcastic, they might say something to the effect of being more fun than a barrel of monkeys, but that is the exact wording for a grouping of monkeys. If you ever find yourself in a swamp, or in Florida, you might find yourself in a congregation. This isn't the type of congregation you'll want to be a part of, though, since this is a grouping of alligators. In one of our earlier facts, we spoke about polar bears, but would you know what to call them, especially the hybrids? That would be a sloth, but not the animal that hangs in the tree or the one that sits on the couch eating potato chips all day. If you happen to be a crazy cat lady, you can live happily knowing to call what's in your house a clutter. No, I'm not referring to what the giant mess is called by having your house filled with cats, although that is what they happen to create. But your crazy kitty grouping is a clutter or a pounce. It is also called a clouder. If your house does happen to be a mess, though, and you have a group of flies around, you can now know to call them a business. Then you can spray all of them dead, because who wants a business of flies around their house? Number 6. Are you one of those people that are sensitive to poison ivy? Well, I have some bad news for you. You'll also experience a similar rash from mangoes. Mangoes are in the same scientific family as poison ivy. The sap in the mango tree and skin of the mangoes has a chemical similar to the oily organic allergen found in poison ivy. A similar allergen is present in the raw shells of cashews as well. Those same reactions have been said to occasionally happen from contact with the sumac and Japanese lacquer tree as well. These allergic reactions can produce anaphylaxis in most extreme cases. 15 to 30% of people will have no reaction at all to the oily substance. If you are a part of the unlucky 70 to 85% though, that do have reactions, you can look forward to severe itching that turns into reddish inflammation and sometimes blistering. Don't worry though, calamine lotion, oatmeal baths, and baking soda are some of the treatments for these reactions. If you are one of the unlucky ones to get blisters, fear not. The fluid inside is not the poison itself and will not spread the rash and blisters to the rest of your body. The quick or delayed reaction of the rash is due to how much contamination that area received. Do yourself a favor before you go camping, hiking, or gardening, and learn how to identify poison ivy, sumac, and mangoes. That's all I have for today. Go ahead and comment down below which fact you didn't know or which fact was your favorite. Let us know what else you want to see. Keep an eye on our channel. We'll see you later.